Hello and welcome to another episode of Codo Cinema, the podcast show where I talk about movies. I'm your host, Mark Codo, aka Coda Man. And for this episode of Codo Cinema, I'm going to be talking about the live action remake of Disney's The Little Mermaid. And the reason why I want to talk about this because I went to see this movie a few days ago in theaters with two of my brothers, and I thought this film would be a good film to talk about because there has been a lot of talk about the live action remake of Disney's The Little Mermaid. I mean, of course, when it comes to like remakes, reboots, there's a lot of talk going on whether or not the reboot's going to be better than the classics. Now, to be fair though, not every reboot is going to be good, but there are some exceptions where the reboots are actually pretty good too. There's a few examples out there where a reboot is actually pretty good. For example, after the disastrous Batman and Robin film, there wasn't a live action Batman movie for like almost 10 years until Christopher Nolan stepped in to direct a Batman movie, which is considered to be the first installment of the Dark Knight trilogy, which is basically called Batman Begins. And that film helped rebooted like the Batman movies a little bit. But of course, it's obviously the Dark Knight. Obviously, the Dark Knight is definitely the best Batman movie. Another example would be the True Grit film that starred Jeff Bridges, and I heard that rebooted film that came out in the 2010s, directed by the Coen brothers. That one was actually pretty good too. Now, so there are definitely examples out there where there are some reboots are actually better than the originals, and hey, that's actually pretty cool, and it helps update what the original had, and try to update it by not only bringing something new but also staying true to what the original had. Now, Disney Disney has done a lot of reboots recently on their films. So far, they have done a Beauty and the Beast live action remake, a Lion King remake, the Mulan remake, and then of course, the live action Cinderella movie as well. Even spin-offs too, like Maleficent, for example, which is basically a spin-off from Sleeping Beauty that came out in 1959, but this is basically telling it from Maleficent's side of the story. Even the Cruella de Vil film as well. Now that one, to be fair, I actually like the Cruella de Vil film that came out in 2021. By the way, that's actually that's actually a pretty good film, by the way. But then, of course, you do have remakes where it didn't go pretty well for Disney. For example, what's an example? Oh, Pinocchio, the live action Pinocchio remake that Disney put Robert Zemeckis in a mess for that. How did that go again between Disney and Robert Zemeckis?
Hey, Circus, remember when you had Pinocchio in your Roger Rabbit film? We got a live action remake of Pinocchio for you to do. Oh, this is heavy. Glad you like the idea. I'll see you real soon. Great Scott.
Okay, so now, cut to the live action remake of The Little Mermaid. Now, this was announced back in the late 2010s, where Disney was planning to do a live action remake of The Little Mermaid, and they brought in Rob Marshall, who previously directed the Mary Poppins Returns film, to which that film is also pretty good. they brought in Rob Marshall to direct the live action remake of The Little Mermaid. Now, Rob Marshall, for those of you who may or may not know, Rob Marshall is not only a filmmaker, but he's also a very famous theater director, including a choreographer as well. So basically, he's got that background of being a theater director. Now, for The Little Mermaid actually had a Broadway production prior to the release of The Little Mermaid. So it's kind of so at the very least, Disney at least found someone who at least not only knows film but also has a good theater background. Now, Rob Marshall wasn't the first, isn't the first theater director to take on this project. Lin-Manuel Miranda was also brought on board to produce the film while also writing new songs. And of course, one of the few Disney legends, Alan Menken, to not only compose the music for the Little Mermaid as he did in the original Little Mermaid film, but also to contribute to the film to the live action remake as well. Now, going back to Rob Marshall for a second, he's a very well known theater director, but he has also done some pretty good films as well. For example, like Chicago and Mary Poppins Returns, including Into the Woods as well. Now Chicago, Into the Woods, and of course Nine, not the animated film Nine, but Nine, which is basically an actual play. Those three films are actually based on real life stage productions, and Rob Marshall, like I said, he's a well known theater director, so he's got that idea to bring live action to bring in production plays into a theatrical film. Chicago, for example, actually was nominated for multiple Oscars and actually won a few, including Best Picture as well. He was also nominated for Best Director. The movie Chicago, which is based on the play by Bob Fosse of the same name, was actually released in 2002 to positive reviews. So it looks like Rob Marshall is starting to climb up into the Hollywood world. So which I thought is actually pretty cool. And I thought like, okay, he's a pretty decent director. I think he would definitely helm the Little Mermaid as well. Going to the Little Mermaid as a whole, the Little Mermaid is loosely based on the 1837 fairy tale of the same name, which is written by Hans Christian Andersen, and of course the book itself was adapted into not only for the remake but also the original 1989 animated film of the same name. The film the film stars Halle Bailey in the title role of the Little Mermaid. Plus, it also features Jonah Howard King, David Diggs, Aquafina, Jacob Tremblay, including Javier Bardem and Melissa McCarthy. The plot of The Little Mermaid follows a mermaid princess named Ariel who is fascinated with the human world and makes a deal with a treacherous sea witch, Ursula, to trade her voice for human legs in order to impress Prince Eric, who she saved from a shipwreck before time runs out. Now that's basically the plot of the live action remake, but of course it's also the same plot for the original film as well. And right now, before I say more about the live action remake, let me give my background on the 1989 original. Now, I didn't grow up with the original Little Mermaid film, to be honest. Now, I have grown up with watching multiple Disney animated movies, most notably Snow White, The Lion King, and of course Walt Disney's Fantasia 2000, among many other Disney animated films that came out during that. I should say on obviously I didn't watch these films like when they first came out, but I watched these films on home video during like when I was very little. So that's definitely something. Now, now for the Little Mermaid, I didn't get into this film. I was definitely say I was definitely during my high school days, I believe when I started watching The Little Mermaid, and I thought The Mermaid was very good. What I didn't know about this movie is that the film came out in 1989 during the time where the Disney Renaissance was starting to form, because The Little Mermaid served not only kickstarted Disney Renaissance, but it also helped bring the help. It also helped brought the Disney helped bring back the Walt Disney Company back on track because some of the Disney films back in the 80s were struggling to capture the success of their previous films from like the 1930s onward. Now, cut to the live action remake. You have Rob Marshall tied in as director for the live action Little Mermaid film, and then of course you got Lin Manuel Miranda, who is very well known for Hamilton, In the Heights, and of course and of course Mary Poppins Returns. And then you have Alan Menken returning to not only score the film, but also the songs as well. And by the way, Lin Manuel Miranda is also filling in for the lyrics as well, to which Howard Ashman contributed to the original film alongside Alan Menken back in 1989. Now I've already mentioned the cat. Now I've already mentioned the casting already. Now just to say this, I know a lot of people were split on the casting of Halle Bailey, but in my opinion, like the casting didn't bother me as much. It didn't bother me as much in my personal opinion. So it didn't like the casting alone just didn't bother me, and I was just like, okay, let's see how this cast will do compared to what the original cast did in the original film. Okay, because Jodie Benson played Ariel in the original Little Mermaid film, who also played Barbie in the Toy Story films, by the way, just to let you all know. So the casting didn't bother me as much. I know a lot of people are split on the casting of Halle Bailey as Ariel, but at the very end, I just wanted to watch this movie and give him my own thoughts of what I think about this film. I'm just want to give him my own thoughts on this reboot because I know, like I said, I know a lot of people are split on the casting of Ariel, and of course, I'm knowing the fact that a lot of people are tired of these remakes. But I just wanted to watch this movie just to give it my own thoughts. So right now, I'm just gonna break down the film. I'm just basically gonna break down the film itself. So spoiler alert for those who have not seen the film. So spoiler alert for those who have not seen the film. And right now, I'm about to go under the sea to break down the live action remake of The Little Mermaid. So basically, Ariel, being played by Halle Bailey, is a mermaid princess and the youngest daughter of King Triton, who is the ruler of the mer people of Atlantica. Now, King Triton is being played by Javier Bardem, and of course in the opening film in the opening of the film and of course in the film's opening one of the film's opening um King Triton is having like what looks to be a council meeting of like of all the daughters of Triton. And by the way, all the daughters of Triton are being played by, let's just say, a very diverse. They got a diverse cast for the daughters of Triton, and this does get me questioning to what King Triton was up to. And boy oh boy, King Triton's got a lot of explaining to do. But that's not really the focus of that point. But for those who have seen the original, probably understand that. But for those who have seen the film, and of course the original film, Ariel was missing. Ariel is missing because, by the way, in the original movie, the Daughters of Triton, um, they were doing like a little musical number in the original film. Although Ariel was missing, and then King Triton was like Ariel. But in the live action remake, Ariel was missing for this very special council meeting, and then of course you do get this whole get this King Triton moment where he's like Ariel. I mean, come on. Well, the thing is, Ariel is fascinated with the human world despite never having seen it. Basically, like Ariel and her friend Flounder basically checking out like so they're checking out a shipwreck wreckage, and Flounder is being voiced by Jacob Tremblay, who to which Jacob Tremblay was in Disney Pixar's Luca. there's something right there. And one thing I will say this, like Flounder's design in this movie, I will say this. Well, I think it's okay. I think the only design I did not like was Sebastian's design as much. Most notably from the CGI. And, of course, I will get to Sebastian pretty soon, because Sebastian was, oh my goodness, I feel like Sebastian was a bit of a stick in the mud in my personal opinion. Now, Ariel and Flounder were checking out the wreckage, and of course, we get this crazy shark attack, to which I'm pretty sure the leftover CGI from Jaws 3 probably took over, because, let's be honest, the underwater CGI looks a little bit of a mess. And despite all the controversy of all the visual effects artists not getting enough time to work on the visual effects, the uncanny visual effects does show in this movie. By the way, it does show. To the fact that Disney has been in hot water for like, forcing these visual effects artists to, like, you know have them complete what they got, instead of like getting them done, making sure the visual effects are good to go, right? But instead, these visual effects artists are being put on a tight schedule right there. So yes, the visual effects in this movie does show, and it's pretty hit or miss. There are some moments where the visual effects don't work as much, but at the same time, it's hit or miss. Now, of course, Ariel and Flounder meet up with a gannet named Scuttle, and Scuttle is being voiced this time by Aquafina. Now, in the original, Scuttle is a seagull, and of course, and Scuttle was voiced by Buddy Hackett. But this time around, in the live action remake, we got Aquafina voicing Scuttle. And by the way, there are a few moments I'm gonna call out in this movie, to which I will get to one of Scuttle's moments. So hold on to your seats. Scuttle is talking with Ariel, because Ariel found like human items, and she's showing Scuttle, like, what do these items, what are these items? Like, she's asking Scuttle what the items are. Like, one of the items that Ariel is showing Scuttle is a fork, although Scuttle refers the fork to a dingle hopper, to which I don't understand what a dingle hopper is, because Scuttle made that up. But Scuttle tells Ariel that a dingle hopper is basically a hairbrush. You could just comb your hair, little bits of pieces of hair come off, and they're so. So yeah, basically a dingle hopper is basically a hair comb. But 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 if you've seen the film, it's basically a fork, which basically picks up food. And by the way, Scuttle is underwater in this film, by the way, to which I'm asking myself, what's the point of Scuttle being underwater? Although, as I mentioned, Scuttle's a gannet in this film, and actually, once a gannet can continue swimming after prey, using both its wings and webbed feet to dive as deep as 70 feet. It can stay submerged up to 30 seconds while hunting, to which, yeah, that's basically the point of a gannet. Although, yes, Scuttle actually caught a fish underwater, which could have been one of Flounder's relatives, I believe. And then, like, ate the fish. She ate the fish, by the way. And this could have been a nice little joke too. Like, I feel like they missed an opportunity to put in a joke. I feel like a joke could have been like, Flounder could have asked, Scuttle, you're a bird. Why are you underwater? Aren't you supposed to be up in the air? I feel like Scuttle could have just said, well, I'm a gannet. Technically, I'm a type of bird that, that can not only fly in the air but also breathe underwater. Hey, best of both worlds. I'm doing best of both worlds. That could have been a nice little joke, but that was an opportunity that is being missed. So that makes no sense. So it makes no sense to why Scuttle's underwater. Okay, so basically, obviously, as I mentioned, like, Scuttle being gannet, and then of course, Ariel just just realized that she missed like the council meeting and that she was supposed to attend with her sisters. She is being scolded by her father Triton. And I will say this: I feel like Javier Bardem look. I mean, he does look pretty. He looks pretty cool as King Triton, but at the same time, he really feels uncomfortable at times, or maybe like it's just like I don't care for. I like he just doesn't really care for this film. Now, to be fair, I will definitely say this: like for where Disney's going right now, does anybody really care where Disney's going right now, especially with their films? Like, do people really care nowadays? Especially all the trouble that Disney is getting into right now. Just saying. And then of course, Flounder comes in to like explain like that him and Ariel were getting chased by sharks. To which Triton realizes that they were going by the ships, knowing that the humans were in charge of the ships. And also Triton mentions that the humans killed Ariel. Humans killed Ariel's mother, to which explains why King Triton does not like the humans. Now, after this kind of whole conversation, we actually get to see the part of your world song that Ariel sings, and I will say this: Halle Bailey is a very good singer. Like she sings this song very well. Sure, it's not the same as what Jodie Benson sang in the original Little Mermaid, but at the same time, she delivers in her own take, and I really like that. I like Halle Bailey singing in this movie, and she does a fantastic job. But then, like after her song, she sees fireworks come from the ship of Prince Eric. Prince Eric is the prince of a nearby Caribbean island kingdom. Now, of course, for this movie, it's a little different. So basically, this movie basically has a bit of a Caribbean feel, which basically is the location to where this film is for The Little Mermaid. Now Ariel checks out the ship and overhears a conversation where Prince Eric is talking to the prime minister, to the kingdom's prime minister Grimsby, about his wish to explore the unknown and help the people of his kingdom. Although although Grimsby tells Eric that he should be staying in the kingdom rather than going out and explore. Kind of similar to Ariel, like King Triton wants Ariel to stay underwater instead of like go out and explore. I mean, hey, I'd be someone who definitely would like to go out and explore too. I mean, hey, both Ariel and Eric have like different point of view, different different ideas of going out and explore new things, which to be fair is actually pretty good. But sometimes this is also a bit of an overprotection because losing someone that you like. I mean, that's pretty tough. But at the same time, you can definitely understand like there's like a bit of an overprotection feel to this for both of these characters. Now, obviously, of course, you do get the shipwreck for Prince Eric, and Prince Eric uh, drowns because this. And by the way, this is from the storm. By the way, where the ship crashes in during a storm. It crashed against the rocks, forcing everybody to go for the lifeboats. And Ariel was able to rescue Eric and brings him to shore, where she sings with her siren voice to help save Eric's life. And then, of course, Ariel flees before he can regain full consciousness. After Eric recovers, his adoptive mother, Queen Selena, forbids him from sailing again. Now, before that, we do get this. We do get the reprise song, "Part of Your World," the famous scene where Ariel is literally laying on this rock, and of course you get the lyric from Ariel saying "Part of Your World," and then the wave splashes in the background. That is a that in the original. That is probably one of the most iconic moments from this movie. From this movie, like the way, like Ariel laying on the rock with the wave splashing in the background, saying "Part of Your World." That is one of the most iconic moments from this film. After realizing that she sees Eric for the first time, realizing like, I think I found my true love. Well, yeah, you rescue the guy, but you haven't had a full on conversation with the guy yet. Ariel, but still a fantastic moment though. Now, Eric's adopted mother, Queen Selena, forbids him from sailing again. And then, of course, this leads into a song. Actually, Eric gets a song in this movie. And I'll be honest with you, this Eric's song in this movie is actually very good. I like the song because the theme of the song is basically him going out and explore, which I think is actually a pretty good thing. That's pretty good because, like I said, I definitely be because the thing is, I be someone who would love to go out and explore, like whether it's like on where it can be anywhere. And basically, for Eric's point of view, is basically Uncharted Waters, which is basically the title of the song, Uncharted Waters. Because remember, because he sails on his ship, and he sails on his ship to like explore, which I think is actually pretty cool. I like how Alan Menken's music is pretty good for that song. Even you also get a mix of Halle Bailey's voice doing like the siren call, which is a very nice mix to the music, which I found to be very good. Now, of course, we go back to the underwater kingdom. Ariel's absent-minded behavior is commented by her sisters, and of course, all the sisters. Like I mentioned, it is a diverse cast of Ariel's sisters, but to be honest, though, they do represent the seven seas. So technically, the daughters of Triton represent the seven seas. By the way, King Triton even questions his advisor Sebastian to like look over Ariel to make sure Ariel like a guide like a kind of like a guide or conscious kind of like Jiminy Cricket. Sebastian this time around is being played by David Diggs, who to which he was actually in Hamilton. He was Jefferson. He played Jefferson in Thomas Jefferson in the Hamilton musical that Lin-Manuel Miranda did. So that's a little something. Now I'm not gonna. Now I'll be honest with you. David Diggs, he does a pretty good job voicing Sebastian. Sure, it's a little different than Samuel Wright's portrayal of Sebastian in the original, but he does deliver it in an own take. But there were definitely moments where he sounds a little bit uncomfortable at times, like if you know what I'm saying. So basically, we get a moment with Sebastian and Ariel about like where Sebastian tells Ariel like Ariel, the human world up there is a dangerous place. Life under the sea is a lot better than this. Which leads up to the famous song, one of the famous songs on Under the Sea, Under the Sea. One of the famous songs in this movie, man. Come on. Not only in this film, but also in the original film as well. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Under the Sea, out of all the songs in this movie, Under the Sea was obviously the closest song from the original film that is actually good in this live action remake. Sure, it's not the same as the original, but it does deliver a sense of fun, but also like bringing in like the colorful sea creatures, and then of course like the rest of the song. It's pretty cool. It has energy. It is pretty colorful at times, but at the same but overall pretty good addition. Despite the CGI being a little messy, if you know what I'm saying. So after the song, Ariel goes back to her it's her room full of treasures, from the surface world, where she finds a statue of Prince Eric. By the way, yeah, she finds a statue of Prince Eric, which was from the wreckage. By the way, so then later on, Sebastian gets a little talk from King Triton, because somehow one of King Triton's guards brings Sebastian over to have Sebastian tell Eric what's been going on with Ariel. Sebastian tries desperately to not, spill the beans, but he does because like he knows that Ariel's not only in love with the prince because the prince is a human, but also has a collection full of objects from the surface, which gets King Triton to be angry. So then this leads up to the moment where King Triton and Ariel see each other inside the collection room, and Triton just like Ariel, I told you not to go back out into the surface. Why would you not listen? And then Ariel's like, well, I was trying to protect this human. And Ariel's like, well, I was trying to protect this human from Johnny. King Triton's like, we should have let him drown. I mean, like, whoa, King Triton, take it easy. Well, take it easy, man. I mean, look, I get, look, I understand your hatred for humans, but that doesn't mean all humans are bad. Not all humans are bad, by the way. They're not. They're literally not that bad. Ariel is trying to save this human. Heck, Prince Eric didn't even do anything to King Triton. He doesn't even know King Triton doesn't even know Eric. And of course, Ariel doesn't even know Eric, by the way, as well. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, compared to what King Triton was in the original, King Triton was not only a bit of a brute, but he did care for Ariel. He did have a sense of care as well. And Javier Bardem's portrayal of Ariel. Now, I will give credit to Javier Bardem. He does the best way he can, but the way how they written King Triton in this movie, they treated him like a real, not only just a brute, but a jerk as well. Like, they treated King Triton as a jerk. Like, he doesn't give like a sense of remorse after destroying Ariel's collection with his trident. By the way, his trident that literally shoots out fireball, not only lightning and fireballs to destroy all the items in her collection room. And that is heartbreak. That is such a heartbreaking moment because Ariel was collecting all these items from the surface world, doesn't even know what these items were, but they were interesting to her, wanting her to explore what the human world is. But at the same time, with King Triton, really, really went out of his way to hurt his daughter. Dang. Like, look at the original. If you go watch the original again, that scene where King Triton destroys all of Ariel's collection items from from the collection, he does give a sense of remorse after doing the destruction. Like, he realizes, like, oh no, what have I done? Oh, what have I done? But in the live action remake, after destroying everything, he doesn't give a crap. He's just like, never go up to the surface again. That makes King Triton in the live action movie a bit of a douche, a jerk, a big brute, more of a brute than anything. And in that film, I feel more for I feel for Ariel in this movie. I feel so sorry for her. Like, she spent she spent like she spent a lot of time collecting these things because it interests her, because it's very interesting. Even she tells Sebastian to go away because Sebastian literally spilled the beans. I mean, I know he didn't mean to, but at the same time, dang, damn, that's just rough. That is just rough, man. Okay, so obviously enough, this does lead up to Ursula, because Ursula, the Sea Witch, was being played this time around by Melissa McCarthy. And I will be honest with you, Melissa McCarthy does a pretty good job playing she does a pretty good job playing Ursula. And yes, it is line from the original. So that's excellent. And to be fair, she does a pretty good job, even though the writers did not put anything new for her character. But at the same time, I do appreciate Melissa McCarthy. Sure, yeah, when you think of Melissa McCarthy, you think of funny Melissa McCarthy. She is very comedic. But in this movie, I mean, yeah, she's a little comedic in this movie, but at the same time, she does play the character pretty well. And of course, and by the way, and also to mention, Pat Carroll voiced Ursula in the original 1989 1989 Little Mermaid film, to which her design was inspired by the drag singer Divine, which was basically the inspiration for Ursula's character design, most notably Ursula's body, by the way. Now, Ursula does sing the poor unfortunate soul. She sings the poor unfortunate soul, which it is a bit of a different take, but Melissa McCarthy sings pretty well for that song. And of course, Ursula manipulates Ariel on the fact that like she can help change Ariel into a human in exchange for her voice. Yes, that was basically the whole deal. Okay, and it's kind of like making a deal with the devil. So I'll give you something if you do something for me. So basically, that's like, yeah, Ariel, Ariel, you're falling into the trap right now. But hey, Ariel is falling into the trap like Ursula is giving Ariel legs in exchange for Ariel to give Ursula Ariel's voice. And Sebastian and Flounder are seeing all of it, by the way. They're seeing all of it, the entire transformation. Like and part of it does remind me a little bit of Phantom of the Opera by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Andrew Lloyd Webber, Phantom of the Opera, where the Phantom tells the girl like, "Sing for me, keep singing, sing." That's kind of like what Ursula is doing like, keep singing, keep singing. And yeah, because Ursula is telling Ariel to keep singing just so she can get Ariel's voice, and she does. And then, of course, Ariel gets legs and swims up to the surface to breathe for air. So now, Ariel's basically swimming on water right now instead of underwater. And then, so basically, Ariel, Flounder, and Sebastian swim on until Ariel gets captured by a boat, to which somebody captures Ariel. I believe it's a captain or something, or someone who's I believe it's a captain or something. I don't really know I forgot, to be honest. This guy finds Ariel all wrapped around in what looks to be seaweed, and he was able to help. He was able to bring Ariel to Prince Eric's castle, and we also get another Scuttle moment where Scuttle sees Ariel, and Scuttle's like, "Huh, something's weird about you. Is it the new hair? Oh, you were using the dingle hopper." And then Sebastian's like, "She's got legs, you idiot." Oh, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Scuttle's pretty clueless in both versions, but I feel like Scuttle in the live action movie is a lot more clueless than what the 1989 original was. So okay, when Ariel gets to the kingdom, we actually get another song, but this time it's for Ariel, but it's actually from her, but it's actually an inner monologue. She gets like an inner monologue song because remember, Ariel's voice is taken away, so she's pretty much mute. She's pretty much a mute as of now, and her song is basically called for her song is basically describing like her first time on this land. And I'll be honest with you, her inner monologue song is actually pretty good. I like that song, and I really do, because it kind of shows you that we are hearing Ariel from her inner monologue, and it's basically inside her head, and that's actually pretty good. And the title of the song is called "For the First Time," and Lin-Manuel Miranda actually wrote this, and it's actually a pretty good song. part of the song does remind me a little bit of Hamilton because, well, not only Lin-Manuel Miranda was involved with Hamilton, but just the beats itself. Like you hear the drums playing in the background, you do hear a little bit of a similar melody and rhythm from Hamilton, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, so Ariel gets to Prince Eric's castle. Uh, the handmaidens were able to help Ariel a little bit, and, give her a bath, put on a dress, shoes, and also get settled and also get settled and get ready to meet the prince. But it does lead to a moment where Ariel kind of realizes the price, like in one of the in the end of the song, um, Ariel Ariel is realizing, the deal that she made with like the deal that she made with Ursula, kind of realizing like what's going on, and I like that last verse pretty well. It kind of shows like, okay, I'm at the point right now where I'm at the first time I'm at this human kingdom for the first time, but I'm realizing that I made the deal. The price the price that I paid with my the price that the price that Ariel paid with her voice. And this is after the moment where Prince Eric sees her for the first time and and doesn't recognize her. He doesn't recognize Ariel because Ariel rescued Prince Eric, but he doesn't recognize her. This leads to a moment that that Ariel just realized that he doesn't know her. Yeah, he doesn't really know her. So Ariel made a lot of sacrifices, and it was a choice, and she can't undo that because remember, if you remember the original film, because you also remember in the original film, Ariel had 3 days to kiss Eric, like her main objective, like if you want to marry this, if you want your voice back, if you want your voice back, or should I say remain a human forever, remain a human for the rest of your days, you gotta kiss Eric in 3 days before the sun sets. So that's the main thing. However, and this part really doesn't make any sense. Ursula brainwashed Ariel to to forget. Like she just brainwashed Ariel to not kiss Eric. And I'm just like, how does that make any sense? How does that make any sense if her whole thing is the whole thing for Ariel is just saying like you gotta, if you want to be a human forever, you must kiss Eric in 3 days before the sun sets. Which and to which Ursula brainwashing Ariel into not kissing Eric makes no sense. And that also kind of explains later on in Kiss the Girl, by the way, to which I'll get to that pretty soon because there was some controversy with that with there was some controversy for no reason, by the way. So I'll get to that pretty soon. So obviously Sebastian and Scotto comes in to Sebastian comes in and like looks at Ariel and is like, I told you so, Ariel. Look at, he's like, I told you so, Ariel. My goodness, every time I look at Sebastian in that live action remake, it's giving me CGI nightmares already. I did not like that design for Sebastian, by the way. I'm and oh man, oh. So yeah, so basically, yeah. But obviously enough, Sebastian does come around. It's like, oh, okay, Ariel, I will help you. I will help you to help you help you kiss Eric, help you kiss Eric, and then of course Ariel kisses Sebastian, which is pretty cute, and it's like, what a soft show I turn out to be. So then later on, Ariel and Eric do finally start to, get more Ariel and Eric are starting to like, get more something more in common, have a conversation, and Eric decides to like, take Ariel on a nice little tour of the kingdom, which to be fair is actually pretty nice. I like how Eric and Ariel went on a little tour. They even explored, a nice little Caribbean. I believe it was a Caribbean party of some sort, or a Caribbean market I should say, because Ariel because Ariel's checking out all the wonderful things on the human surface. Like Ariel's a little confused. Like she's like wondering, "Ooh, what's this? Ooh, what is that? Ooh, what's that thing? Ooh, what's that cameo over there?" Yes, we actually do get a cameo from none other than Jodie Benson herself. Jodie Benson plays like a she plays one of the people she plays one of the I'm trying to say who am I? One of the market servers where she gives Ariel the fork, or should I say Dingle Hopper. And it's actually a nice moment too, because not only are we seeing both Ariels at the same not only are we seeing both actresses playing Ariel, but also knowing the fact like callback to where, Ariel has the Dingle Hopper, which I thought is a nice little callback. But also to add on, um, giving Ariel the Dingle Hopper as a collection, because even though because King Trident destroyed everything in Ariel's collection room, but giving back the Dingle Hopper as a nice first edition as a first edition collection, to which I thought that's actually pretty nice. And then, of course, Ariel and Eric actually do a nice little dance. And then during the evening, Eric and Ariel are basically, paddling in a canoe in a nice in the lake during a lovely evening night, which is actually beautiful. And this is where Kiss the Girl comes in. Now I will say this, like the scene itself is very beautiful. I like the lightning background, and the fireflies coming in and having Sebastian, Flounder, and Scotto help set the mood for the for well actually well also well it was just basically Sebastian setting the mood, but if you know what I'm saying, the original, because Scotto failed to set the mood, because Scotto's like wah, 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 wah. Oh man. But Sebastian sets the mood, because because basically you have like Sebastian setting the mood, percussion, strings, music, and this is where Kiss the Girl comes in. Like I said, the moment itself is pretty sweet, and I do like the moment where Ariel tries to tell Eric the name. Like she helps Eric, she helps Eric telling her who she is. Up in the skies, he refers to one of the planets or stars as Aries, and this gives Ariel an idea. Like, hey, like Airy. It sounds like because Ariel, because it has airy. So so what's actually pretty nice is Eric makes the guess. She says Aries. Ariel's like no, and then Ariel puts her finger into on Eric's lips. She's like Ariel, Ariel, Ariel. Yeah, and I thought that was like okay, there we go. Even though Sebastian says Ariel, it's Ariel in the original. And that was in the original, by the way. Now, okay, so now as I mentioned, the kiss the girl moment is actually pretty cool. Is actually pretty nice, pretty nice. But before that, I'm gonna have to mention something, because there was a change in the lyrics for "Kiss the Girl," and this gets me mind-boggling, realizing that who would complain about the "Kiss the Girl" song? I do not understand where this controversy came from. They changed the lyric in the "Kiss the Girl" song. Now, some of you are probably realizing, well, what's the lyric change? I mean, like, what's the lyric change? Like, I didn't even know what the lyric change was. Now, I didn't even know what the lyric change was, and this came out about a month ago. before the film was even released. So, and the lyric now, there wasn't really much lyrics. They didn't change a whole lot of lyrics in the song, but the only lyrics that were changed in this movie is in this live action movie. And to quote this off an article from fan-sided hiddenremote.com by so basically this article from Hidden Remote's fan site, hiddenremote.com of fan-sided. It was, and I quote, it was mentioned, the lyric in the live action version of the song is as follows: possibly she want you to. Use your words, boy, and ask her if the time is right and the time is tonight. Go on and kiss the girl. Now, in the original, here's this lyric in the original. This is the lyric in the original. Possibly she want you too. There is one way to ask her. It don't take a word, not a single word. Go on and kiss the girl. Now, let me say the lyric from the live action film again. Possible she want you too. Use your words, boy, and ask her if the time is right and the time is tonight. Go on and kiss the girl. Okay, I know it's not as much. I know it's not much, but I will say this: I don't understand where this controversy came from. Like, who in the right mind would think "Kiss the Girl" would be controversial? Oh wait, for some reason, people are saying that Eric is basically forcing himself onto Ariel, to which that's not true. Eric is not forcing himself on Ariel, because in the original, like I said, in the original, if you to put it in the original, Ariel had 3 days to kiss Eric to remain a human, to remain a human. But also to put into more context, she actually tried to make the move first. She tried to make the move first, but don't and also but you have Sebastian and all the other sea creatures and animals to help to set the mood for Eric. So they're kind of pressuring Eric too. They're basically pressuring Eric. But the context of that is like it's basically Ariel. That's basically the point. Ariel is basically trying to get this kiss. But the thing is, Ariel doesn't even know. She's brainwashed. She forgets that she has to kiss Eric. She forgets she has to kiss Eric, to which makes no sense. Which that makes no sense. And the lead up to Kiss the Girl in the live action remake, despite the song being cute, but the payoff for Ariel being brainwashed to kissing Eric makes no sense, and there is no payoff for that. And the reason behind it, because it's 2023. It's literally 2023. It's 2023, or people are literally getting soft on this. It's basically the "Baby It's Cold Outside" controversy all over again, where the lyrics in those songs are more innuendo. They're basically innuendos. I mean, the "Kiss the Girl" song now in the live action Little Mermaid remake is basically the "Baby It's Cold Outside" controversy problem all over again. Oh my goodness! And of course, knowing the fact that Ursula's eels knock over Eric and Ariel, and then Ursula transforms herself into Vanessa. And actually, Ursula is struggling to find the potion to transform herself into a human. It's actually pretty funny. I actually got a chuckle out of it. Like, she's like looking in her cabinets, like saying like, "Oh, where is it? Where is it? No, 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 no! Oh, there it is." Okay, that part is actually very Melissa McCarthy. Very is basically Melissa McCarthy just basically being funny, and I and I laughed at that. But other than that, after Eric and Ariel are back at the castle, Eric is out all alone, and he hears a siren, which could be someone else, but he thinks that it's the girl that he is looking for. To which the girl Vanessa sitting out by the ocean floor, singing. I mean, Eric, but Eric thought that is actually the girl that he is looking for. But unfortunately, what he doesn't know that it's Ursula, and of course, Ursula brainwashes Eric, giving him like the mind control. Yeah, which then the next scene leads up to, oh my goodness, the worst song in this movie, in my opinion. The worst song in this movie, but also being the worst Disney song of all time. And if you know what I'm saying, it's the Scuttlebutt. Scuttle gets a song. And by the way, Scuttle in the original film was known to be a terrible singer, by the way. A seagull who is not good at singing in that movie, the original movie. And yet, Scuttle, again, voiced by Aquafina, gets a song, and it's not a good song. It's not a good song. I am so sorry. Like this is not a good song. The Scuttlebutt is not a great song. I mean, it is cringy. Like, who in the right mind thought giving Scuttle a song was a good idea? I can't imagine not only the people involved with that song, but the people who had to record the song. Like the people who record the song, I mean, it takes guts to mix a song like that. I mean, listen, props to the sound engineers, man. Like, I mean, I can't imagine how irritating they had to like go through. Like the whole Scuttlebutt song is basically like gossip, like the gossip, basically gossip, which makes no sense. Like, and I'll tell you this, like the Scuttlebutt Island from Gravity Falls is funnier than the Scuttlebutt song from Scuttle. I mean, and this is obviously the worst song from this, not only from this movie, but like the worst song from Disney as well. Like I can't imagine Disney and Howard Ashman rolling in their graves right now. Like what was the company thinking? Like it makes no sense. The song itself is out of place. Like the Scuttlebutt is literally out of place. I'm telling you right now. And look, I know Aquafina. Look, Aquafina is a fine actress. Like she's a fine actress. She does fine in some films, but at the same time, what were the people thinking of bringing in this song for Aquafina? Like, oh my goodness. I could go on forever of talking about this song, but it's just not good. Like it's not, like the rap style for the Scuttlebutt does not fit this scene. It's so out of place right now. Oh yeah, yeah. And the vocal performances, like I said, Aquafina's a fine actress, but this was not her song. This was not Aquafina's song, by the way. Not her song. This was not her song. Okay. Now, going into the rest of the film, like basically Ariel goes down to find out that Eric is with this other woman or girl who to which the prime minister believes that Eric found the girl that Eric was looking for, and of course this gets Ariel so upset that Ariel runs away, goes back to the water. Sebastian and Flounder try to cheer her up a bit, and then Scuttle flies around and discover that Vanessa's true identity is Ursula. Yeah, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah. So then Scuttle comes back to inform Ariel, Sebastian, and Flounder to let the three know that Vanessa is the sea witch Ursula. So basically, Sebastian tells Flounder to go find King Triton, and then Ariel, Scuttle, and Sebastian go on to take on Vanessa. And then this actually breaks into a bit of a fight right now between not only Ariel and Vanessa, but also Scuttle as well. And Ariel manages to get Ariel. I believe, oh man, was it Scuttle who got the necklace shell? I believe. Although 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 I believe I don't remember who. I mean, I know in the original it was. I know in the original the shell the shell necklace comes off of comes off of Vanessa. Although I don't really remember who it was. I don't really remember who it was. I know it was the dog in the original who kind of like finished it off. But but in the live action remake, I forgot who did it. So I really forgot who did it. But that being said, Ariel was able to get her voice back. But unfortunately, this is the third day. By the way, the sun sets. Ariel was unable to kiss Eric, so she turns back into a mermaid, and then Vanessa turns back into Ursula, who takes Ariel back to the ocean, and I did not mention this part. I forgot to mention this part. Now, if Ariel does not kiss Eric after 3 days after the sun sets, she not only turns back into a mermaid, but Ursula keeps Ariel. Yeah, that was the whole deal, by the way. So then Triton confronts Ursula, who orders Ursula to let Ariel go. However, Ursula reveals that the deal that she made with Ariel is unbreakable. So Triton trades himself for Ariel and is turned to dust by Ursula's eels, much to Ariel's horror. And in the original, King Triton was turned into what looks to be a plant, by the way, because in the original, all the mermaids and mermen in the original were turned into Ursula's plants, I believe, rooted plants, I believe. And they were all turned to dust in the original. So basically, Ursula kills her victims. By the way, in the live action remake, we don't see that, but we do see all the piles of bones in Ursula's lair. By the way, so Ursula claims tridents just as Eric arrives to help in the melee. Ursula accidentally kills her eels. Yeah, yeah. Ursula kills her eels. Oh my babies, my little poopsie babies. Yeah. So this gets Ursula so mad that she goes into a giant kraken, and we get this final battle with Ursula and Ariel and Eric, where she creates a tide pool to drown both Ariel and Eric. And another moment that really and this is another moment where I'm just like, okay, all right, if you know what I'm saying. Ariel kills Ursula. Like Ariel kills Ursula using a broken ship, to which in the original, Eric kills Ursula with the broken ship. But this time around, it's reversed. And Ariel kills Ursula by impaling Ursula, and then obviously she explodes. She explodes into millions of pieces, and Trident comes back to life with with Trident after Ursula's demise. Still a pretty creepy death, by the way. But the thing is, but the thing is, but the thing is, it's a bait and switch this time around because it's Ariel who kills Ursula instead of Eric. Because Eric, being the brave male hero that he is in the original film, saved Ariel. He not only saved Ariel, but he saved the entire undersea kingdom, and Trident gives him the respect, meaning like, hey, not all humans are bad. But it's the exact opposite because now this time it's Ariel doing the killing. Like now, imagine if this was Eric and Ariel killing Ursula. Then that would make sense. I would have respected that scene a lot more. But no, because Disney thinks that oh no, a woman should not be rescued by a man. No, what? What? Disney? Your original film, you had Prince Eric rescuing Ariel twice. I believe that was twice. That was twice in that movie. But in the live action remake, once. Eric rescues Ariel once. Because Eric throws like a little spear in front of in front from Ursula's behind, like slashing, like slicing like like smear like slicing through one of Ursula's one of Ursula's elbows, if you know what I'm saying. Like literally, you could have had Eric. Disney, you could have had Eric be on the ship with Ursula, and they both could have taken down Ursula. Like that would have worked. But no, Disney decided like think, oh no, oh no, Ariel should be the hero of this movie. Like that makes no sense. That literally defeats the purpose of Eric's character. By the way, not only now that defeats the purpose of Eric's character because I don't know. I really don't know. It really ruins the moment, the hero moment for Eric. It really does. It really does. And look, I mean, it is nice to see that Ariel is able to fight, but that's not her character. That's not Ariel's character. Like in the original, she was close to being killed in the original. She was so close to dying. Like she almost got killed in that movie. She was close to dying. Like Ursula was about to deliver a final blow to Ariel, and then Eric swims on in, sails in, and impales Ursula. And we don't even see that in that remake. It's basically Ariel doing it all. And Disney, wow. Disney just literally just they literally just they did my boy dirty. They did my boy dirty. They did my boy dirty in that scene. But that being said, and by the way, speaking of doing my boy dirty, Chef Louis, who was the French chef in the original Little Mermaid, is not in this movie. By the way, showing we don't see Chef Louis in this movie for no reason, for no reason, for no reason because they think like the whole Chef Louis chasing Sebastian is basically a Saturday morning cartoon thing for that, according to what some people were saying about the whole about that scene in the original. But come on, what? That's literally the funniest scene in that movie. Chef Louis trying to kill Sebastian, knowing the fact that Sebastian went inside that kitchen and seeing all the carnage inside, the seafood, the sea creature hell, the the seafood torture zone. I mean, that moment where Sebastian is realizing that Chef Louis is cooking fried fish from the sea is just crazy. That was like, yeah, I know it's disturbing at the same time with that song that Chef Louis is singing. It's pretty still humorous. I remember that scene. I remember that scene in the original. I don't understand why that's being cut. Yeah, that's being cut because it feels like a Saturday morning cartoon, according to some people. I mean, ay ay ay. But anyway, if you all know the ending, King Triton was able to, give Ariel what she wants. Basically Ariel going back to Eric. She and Eric, uh, start are basically in love. Our couple thing. They actually do get a pretty good send off as well. Like they go on to Eric's ship, and then we get a nice moment of King Triton hugging Ariel, and then Triton and Eric meeting for the first time. Like I said, if Eric and Ariel were on that ship killing Ursula, I feel like that wouldn't work. That would have worked, and Trident and Eric would have given the respect for each other, saying that hey, not all humans are bad, which I think would have worked. But nope, Disney didn't do that because they think like, oh, a female, the lady should not be rescued by a man. I mean, I don't really know. But anyway, Eric and Ariel set off on a brand new adventure, and of course, that's the end of the film. Now, I will say this: the film itself is not as bad as people are saying it is, but it still have its fair share of problems. We're at the point where we're kind of at a point where that not all classics should not be remade. The Little Mermaid, the original Little Mermaid film that came out in 1989, it remains a classic to this day. Like it should not have been remade. Like not every like Hollywood, not every like Disney. Not every animated film from your library needs to be rebooted. If there was a film that could have deserved the remake treatment, I say it would be The Black Cauldron. The Black Cauldron is considered to be not only one of Disney's darkest movies, but one of the films to be a bomb. It was a bomb, man. It did not do well at the box office, not as much as critics, even though critics did give a mixed reception, but it didn't go that well. I feel like that film deserves the remake treatment, and not any of your films from the Disney Renaissance that deserve the remake treatment. Those films from the Disney Renaissance from the 90s, they're fine on their own. They are fine on their own. You didn't need to remake The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid is already fine on its own. But since now Disney has given us a live action remake of Little Mermaid, it's not as bad as people are saying it is, but at the same time, it still had its fair share of problems. Halle Bailey as Ariel is actually pretty good. Her singing is pretty good, and her acting is pretty good. And I'll be honest with you, she has a promising acting career ahead of her. So she's definitely going places. Now Rob Marshall, I feel like Rob Marshall does a pretty good job with this film, but at the same time, I feel like at the same time he didn't really need to be involved in this film. I feel like he should have. I feel like he didn't need to be involved with this film in any way. Like I said, that film should not have been remade. I mean, but in fairness, he does a good job of what he was given, and I think he did fine. And I'd say he did fine. Lin-Manuel Miranda did fine, not only producing the film but also contributing to the songs. But the Scuttlebutt song, listen, I'm sorry to say this, that was not a good song. That was not a good song. That was not a good song. I mean, Lin-Manuel Miranda, known from In the Heights, Hamilton, and of course, Encanto for writing songs like We Don't Talk About Bruno, went from that to the Scuttlebutt. What was that? Oh my goodness. And then what was up with, and then the lyric changes for Kiss the Girl. I mean, what? I mean, who came up with that controversy? Who in the right mind would have a controversy about Kiss the Girl? And then the CGI itself, I mean, it's hit or miss at times, but like I mentioned, like Disney's got a visual effects problem, like right now, like yeah, but dang, yeah, Disney's got a visual effects problem, like forcing their visual effects artists to like rush the visual effects, looking like it's incomplete. But at the same time, for that movie, the CGI does hit or miss. And the acting from the other cast members, they're okay. I mean, they were definitely okay. I thought Melissa McCarthy as Ursula was pretty good. Javier Bardem was alright as King Triton, but still, he looked very uncomfortable. He feels completely checked out of that movie, by the way. But other than that, I feel like The Little Mermaid it's not as bad as some of the other Disney remakes, but it's kind of up there as a middle of the road, decent live action remake. And there you have it, folks. That's my take on the live action Little Mermaid remake. Now, what did you all think? Did you think this movie was okay? Did you not like the movie? Did you think this movie was good? Did you think this is one of the best live action remakes? Did you think this was one of the best live action remakes or one of the worst live action remakes? I mean, I would like to hear your thoughts about this. But anyway, oh man, that was a lot to talk about. I mean, I know there was a lot going on in that movie, even though I'm talking about not only the live action film, but also the animated film as well. But anyway, that's all for this episode. So anyway, thank you all for tuning into Codo Cinema. I'm your host, Mark Codo, aka Codo Man. Remember to watch movies and stay positive.